It's time to wake up, people. Whether you like it or not, there is a war every 4 years in this country. Now, this is not a war of violence or bloodshed. This is a war that will determine one of two very different paths for our nation to be set on. This is the presidential election. Everybody who is of the age to vote must exercise their right to vote. I myself am an active voter who, come election day, won't be trying to persuade somebody to vote Republican or Democrat, but to just take a little bit of their time out of their day to go out and cast a vote. I have also done extensive research on our age group of 18 to 29-year-olds and why we have to increase our voting percentage. Today, I would like to talk to you about our age group and why we have to increase our voting percentage. I will offer a solution that will help get people of our age groups to the polls, and I will offer a brief visualization of what just a slight, ever so slight, increase in just our age group alone can do for the nation. First off, I would like to call your attention to our past 2012 election results. As you can see, our age group from 18 to 29-year-olds accounted for 19% of the total say. Now, this is according to Sarah Cliff, the 2012 election charts, published November 7, 2012 at wonkblog.com. As you can also see, we weren't in last place. We did beat out the elderly at 60 plus. So good job, everybody. We weren't in last. But we still get vastly outvoted by the 30 to 44-year-olds and 45 to 64-year-olds. According to Craig Cannon, who won the popular vote in 2012, published November 9th, 2012 at thehuffingtonpost.com, there was 127 million Americans that voted in this past election alone. Now remember that 19% I just talked about, our age group? If you take that out of the 127 million, you are left with 24 million Americans. Now that number alone seems substantially large when it stands alone. So let me break it down and help you visualize what 24 million Americans looks like. If you break that into 5 groups, our age group alone can fill the population of Wisconsin 5 times. Once again, that age group seems substantial when it stands alone. But the second that you put that leading age category of 45 to 64-year-olds next to us, they nearly double our voting percentage. That age group, that single age group, could fill the population of Wisconsin 10 times. Suddenly, our 5 doesn't start looking so high. A lot of people wonder, why is it that that age group constantly outvotes us? It's not just in this election, it's in every election. And the answer is pretty simple. The people in those age groups realize that whoever gets elected that day affects them directly. We get a trickle-down effect through maybe tuition and small taxes that we pay. But those guys get affected through their careers, 401ks, different insurances, economic investments, different retirement options. We are not far from being launched out into that world. I myself have 2 years left where all I have to worry about paying is gas, rent, and groceries. Life's pretty good right now. But the second that I have to pay for a lot more than that, we have to start waking up and realizing what we can do. So now that I've painted a better picture of the problem, let me help offer a solution to get you guys out to the polls. We are the next generation in line to run this great nation. Out of all of the problems that this great nation faces, this is the easiest to solve. And I promise you, I'm looking at the answer right now as I speak. It's you guys sitting right here in class. Just like our buddy Uncle Sam here said back in the days of the war, I want you to go out and join the U.S. military. Well, now I'm standing up here and I'm saying I want you to go out and vote. And for the people that did vote, I want you to go out and take somebody with you who didn't vote. I hear people every single day fired up about some topic, wanting to change something. Just on campus, you hear them arguing something. They want to do something. I know people care. And I know that they can find one thing in a politician that they like enough to go out and vote. I know it. It is in our hands to make the nation that we want to live in. Now, another thing that people don't realize is that we do have power. Our age group, the single age group of 18 to 29-year-olds, the 19%, we have power. but we just don't realize it. According to Jacob Hacker and Paul Pearson, in their book titled Off Center, an SI publisher, page 47, a representative democracy enshrines on the policy of one person, one vote. Now, for the people that say, one vote never changed anything, right? It's just one vote. I could flip through the pages of a history book. I could find many situations where one person has done an awful lot. Let's take a fast look at Florida, for example. Florida is another battleground state just like Wisconsin. According to Robert Fowler in his book titled Wisconsin Votes, an Evdrew Foundation publisher, page 205, voting behavior in Wisconsin is a fantasizing chapter in an ongoing story. It would also later state that Wisconsin is now one of the closest two-party race states in the nation. Like I said, we can find ourselves in a situation that Florida found themselves in this past election, any given election. According to the presidential election published November 29, 2012 at Politico.com, Barack Obama defeated Mitt Romney by 73,000 votes. Once again, 73,000 seems like a substantial number. But when you break that down into the total voting percentage of Florida, that was only 1%. Now that 19%, our age group, if we increase that by a slim 3%, nationwide, you divide that out by 50 states, that gives each state 76,000 more votes. If for some reason they would have all voted for Mitt Romney, our age group alone just changed the outcome of Florida. And that's just with 3%, everybody. Imagine what we could do with 6, 8, 10, 14%. We could be a factor nationwide in every state's election, just our age group. I want to let you know, one ballot has power, but I promise you, there is change in thousands. In conclusion, I want you to remember that our age group only had 19% of the total say. It's up to you guys to make the nation you want to live in. Realize that you guys do have power. As a collective whole, we have power. And to take action. Go out and vote in the next presidential election. Heck, even a local election. Go out, let your voices be heard. And lastly, there's a quote that I want to leave everybody here with. And I want you to think really hard about it, not just to hear it and brush it aside, but actually think about it. It was spoken by John F. Kennedy in his inaugural address, January 20th, 1961. And it states, "My fellow Americans, ask not what your country could do for you. Ask, what can you do for your